Hello students, welcome to all of you Shiksha 360. Today basically we have to discuss the chapter number 5 of IT Elective, that is Introduction to Information System Part 1. Theory portion we will be covered here point by point, and all the MCQs related to that will be covered in the IT Elective group, so that you are able to understand what are the different types of questions they will ask in the examination. So now let's start our discussion regarding that. So first point here which we have to discuss, that is what is the meaning of or introduction to information system, and from this slide only you will get 4 to 5 questions. Why? Because this slide contains different numerous number of definitions. So now let's start regarding all these points. So first definition which it is we have to cover it, that is data. So what is the meaning of the data here? So data is the gobs and gobs of texts. Gobs, what is the meaning of gobs here? That is large amount. It means that there is a large amount of content. Okay. So data is the gobs and gobs of text and numbers that an organization gathers in the course of doing business. Okay. That is collecting the information. So that is collecting the data, not information. So it does not really do the firm any good until it is analyzed. Clear? So when the data is analyzed, then it is to be considered as the information. Otherwise, it is to be considered as the data here. Okay, so what is the data? That is, data is the gobs and gob of ticks and numbers that an organization gathers in the course of doing the business. It does not really do the firm any good until it is analyzed. Second one, that is the information here. What that is information? Information, what is the meaning of that? This is the data. Information, what is that? This is the data that has been structured, filtered, reported on, and it is generally in a form that is readily usable. Clear? So what is the information? That is, in this, the data has been structured, properly structured, filtered, reported on. Okay, so the data has been structured, filtered, and reported on, and it is generally in a form that is readily usable. Next point, that is the problem solving. Third point which we have to discuss, that is the problem solving. The employees of a firm, third point, that is the employees of a firm undertake problem solving when they identify some gap between a current state of affairs and a desired state of affairs. Problem solving, that is the employees of a firm undertake some problem solving. There is some issue arises here. The employees of a firm undertake problem solving when they identify some gap between a current state of affairs and a desired state of affairs. So this gap may involve an action. This gap may involve an action that must be taken and a decision that needs to be made. Okay. This gap may involve an action that must be taken, a decision that needs to be made, information that must be made available, or data that must be gathered. Okay. So gap between a current state of affairs and a desired state of affairs. So what type of action this gap requires? So this gap may involve an action that must be taken. That is, a gap must be taken and a decision needs to be made. First of all, we have to gap needs to be taken, and then a decision is to be made, and then information that must be made available. And what is the information? Clear? Or what is the reason behind that? That must be made available or data must be gathered. Clear? Is there any issue arises? So we have to be check over that also, all the points. Why there is a gap exists between that. So some of that basic points you have to be take care. So problem solving, that is problem solving involves the structuring of a series of decisions. Clear? Problem solving involves the structuring of a series of decisions that involve the creation of potential solutions and the choices among them. Okay. So problem solving involves the structuring. Clear? Involves the structuring of a series of decisions that involve the creation. Clear? What do they involve? That involve the creation of a potential solution and the choices among them. Clear? That involve the creation of a potential solution and the choices among them. That is the problem solving. Just what you have to remember, that is the employees of a firm undertake the problem solving when they identify that is there is a some gap between the current state of affairs and the desired state of affairs. In that case, they have to take care regarding the problem solving. Fourth one, what is the information system? Clear? So 10 now we have discussed three definition: data, information. Third one, that is the problem solving. Fourth one here, that is the information system. So what is that? So an information system or a system takes inputs, complete its processing and produces the output. Okay. So what is an information system, or that we can say a system? A system takes input, completes its processing and produces the output. That is a system. First of all, that will be take the input, completes its processing and produces the output. So the inputs are the event outside the information system that cause the information system to do something. Clear? So that what is the inputs? The inputs basically are the events outside the information system that causes the information system to do something. For example, a person might request a report from the input system. Clear? That is, we can say that a report basically that is the output. A report that is after processing, after analyzing the data, what is the output? That is to be considered as the report here. Okay, so a system takes input, completes its processing and produces output. The inputs are the events that are outside the information system that causes the information system to do something. For example, a person might request a report from the information system. So when talking about or designing an information system, clear, when talking about or designing an information system, you must consider all five parts of the system. Clear? So when talking about or designing an information system, you must consider all five parts of the system. What are the five parts of the system? Very, very important. Hardware, software, data, people, and procedure. So five parts of the system. All these are the questions in the examination. So what are the five parts of the system? Hardware, software, data, people, and procedures. Clear? Hardware, software, data, people, and procedure. So what procedure, that is, procedures are how the organization defines how the task should be accomplished. The definition of a procedure determines which data should be collected, which should be involved, and the hardware and the software that must be assembled. Clear? All these things basically comes under the procedure. So first of all, procedure, what it tells that procedures are how the organization defines how the task should be accomplished. Okay. Further, that is the definition of a procedure determines which data should be collected, which people should be involved, and the hardware and the software. Clear? Which data should be collected, which people should be involved, and the hardware and the software that must be assembled. So realize also that affect flow both ways: data availability and reliability. Clear? First of all, we have to check regarding the availability of the data, and further, we have to also rely on that data. Clear? Okay, so data availability and reliability and the capabilities of the hardware, software, and people limit the range of the possible procedures that must be designed. Clear? Limit the range of the possible procedures that must be designed. Okay, so please respond if anyone has any doubt, any query regarding that. Hope it is clear to all of you regarding all the basic points like what is data, what is information, what is problem solving, what is an information system. If anyone has any query, then you can ask in the comment section. We will discuss that point also later on in detail. Okay, so I will move further. So very, very important point. Next one, that is SDLC. System Development Life Cycle. Clear? SDLC stands for the System Development Life Cycle. First question they will ask, what are the five stages? Not five stages, what are the stages under that? This point they will ask in the examination, like what are the stages under that? So now let's discuss all these points. So this is a description. First, please remember the full form, that is SDLC, System Development Life Cycle. So this is a description of the life cycle of a system. Clear? This is a description of the life cycle of a system from initial conception through its disposal. It has five main stages. Clear? SDLC has five main stages. First one, that is the planning and analysis. Second one, that is the design and development. Third one, that is the implementation. Fourth one, that is the testing and acceptance. Fifth one, that is the operation and maintenance. Clear? So this is a description of the life cycle of a system from initial conception through its disposal. Clear? That is from the initial stage to the end. It has five main stages. First one, that is the planning and analysis. First of all, we have to plan and analysis. Clear? When we done the analysis, then we have to design and development. After the development, we have to do implement that thing. Implementation after that, next step, that is implementation before the final production or before the final comes to the public. We have to do testing and acceptance. Last one, that is the operation and maintenance. Clear? Step by step, all the five things we have to be do here. Planning and analysis, design and development, implementation, testing and acceptance, operation and maintenance. So first one, that is the planning and analysis. First one which we have to cover here, that is the planning and analysis. So what is that? So planning involves defining the problem, setting the system objectives. Clear? So what the planning and analysis tells that? Planning involves defining the problem. Clear? First of all, we have to define what is the problem here, setting the system objectives, create high-level project plan, and conducting a feasible study. Okay. Define the problem, what are the setting system objectives for that, and then we have to create a high-level project plan and conducting a feasibility study on that, whether we are able to fulfill that thing or not. Analysis also involves organizing the project team, gathering the business requirements, defining the system performance criteria, creating process diagrams, and defining the information needs of the system. Clear? And defining the information needs of the system. So planning and analysis basically involves that. Planning involves defining the problem, setting the system objectives, creating high-level project plans, and conducting a feasible study on that. Further, that is analysis also involves organizing the project team, gathering the business requirements. First of all, project team, and we have to check out what are the business requirements, defining the system performance criteria, creating process diagrams, and defining the information needs of the system. All these things basically comes under the planning and analysis. When the planning and analysis we have to done, then we have to next one, that is as per the planning, we have to design our project. Here, as per the planning, we have to design our project here in the next point. So system elements, clear, design and development under that. System elements such as the screen and reports, clear, system elements such as the screen and reports are designed in this stage. Clear, are designed in this stage using methods such as prototyping and tools such as computer aided software engineering. Clear, very, very important. They will ask. First point definition, SDLC, system development lifecycle. Second one, that is the case. CASE stands for the computer aided software engineering. Okay, second definition, that is CASE, computer aided software engineering. Next point which we have to cover is, that is what is the meaning of the prototyping here. Clear? Prototype, we can say that it is the first model or design. Okay, so prototype, it is the first model or design from which we can develop the other things. Clear? Prototype, it is the first model or design from which we can develop the other things. So system developments elements such as screens and reports are designed in this case using methods such as prototyping and tools such as the computer software aided software engineering. At this stage, development tools, clear, what are the development tools we have to use? That is, we have to use the programming language and the development environment. Okay, development tools, just please remember that there are two words. One is the development tools. Second one, that is the deployment tools. So you have to be take care regarding both the points. What are the tools under the development tools? Development tools are the programming language and the development environment. Clear? Like we have to provide the suitable environment there and the develop and the programming language. And the deployment environment basically means that operating system, hardware, network, and standards. Clear? Development, just you have to remember that what are the things to require to develop anything, that is programming language. Clear? And deployment, what are the things we have provided there? Clear? What are the things we have provided, like operating system, hardware, network, and standards are the selected. The system costs are also projected in this stage. Clear? Very, very important. Sometimes they will ask in the examination. At which stage the system costs are also projected, that is they are also projected basically under the stage of design and development. Clear? Under the stage of design and development. Now, after that, we have to move to the next point. So we have discussed two parts or two life stages, planning and analysis, design and development. Now move to the next one. So for all the IT elective sessions, you can join our course. All the sessions, live sessions, like we have, okay, along with the MCQ discussion, everything will be provided to you. Regularly sessions, morning, evening will be conducted. So now let's move further, and recorded session are also provided. So what are the programming languages? Clear? There are the different programming languages. We can say the first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation. Clear? And I will expect one question you will get in the examination from that also. So programming language can be generally classified. Clear? Programming language can be generally classified according to its generation. So first generation, that is machine language. Clear? First generation language, that is to machine language. Clear? So machine language is the first generation and assembly language. It is the second generation. Clear? MA. Machine language, it is the first generation language, and the assembly language, it is the second generation language. So to write a program in these language, you will require a lot of knowledge of the particular machine on which the program will reside. Clear? So to write a program in this language requires a lot of knowledge of the particular machine on which the program will reside. Next, third one, third generation languages are also called the high level languages. Please remember that first generation, that is the machine language. Second generation here, that is the assembly language. And the third generation here, that is the high level language. Okay. Third generation language are to be considered here as the high level language. So what are the examples of the high level languages here? Examples of these are the ADA, Basic, C, C++, C hash, Ruby, Python, COBOL, Fortran, Java, LISP, Pascal, P, and PL1. Okay, so all these are the third level languages, and we will not expect like full form of these things in the examination, but I will, like here LISP. Very rarely, basically, I think you all have heard that LISP, that is list processing. So from my side, that is what is the full form of the COBOL and Fortran. You have to comment in the comment section. Clear? You have to comment in the comment section. Okay, so all these are all the counts under the third level languages, third generation languages. The benefits of these languages are easier and faster to write and can be more easily moved between the computers of the different types. Clear? Can be more easily moved between the computers of the different types. What are the drawbacks? That the drawbacks are that they execute slowly and requires more memory. So most commercial programs are written in the third level languages. And now the fourth and fifth generation languages are also going on, like SQL, structured query language, and Prolog tend to look more like the natural languages. Some of the fourth generation, like Oracle Forms, Oracle Designer, PL, SQL, structured query language, Clipper, Power Builder, SAS, SPSS, and SQL. Clear? These all are easier to write. Clear? So all these are the fourth generation languages. So most of the language, basically, which generation language presently used, that is to be the third generation language. It is to be used by most of the programmers. Now, slowly, fourth and fifth generation, basically fourth generation language are to be also comes under the role. Okay. All these points basically comes under the design and development, because we have discussed that if there are because there are two tools. First one, that is the development tools, and along with that we have also deployment tools here. Next one, what the meaning of the development environment? Clear? What is the meaning of the here word development environment? Why I will discuss all this point? Because definitely you will get, even in the examination they will ask case study type question from these points. Like they will ask 5 questions. Clear? So it is very easy. Like our last time they will ask questions, 5 mark question from the theory based parts also. As there are not any numerical exist, there are some, like we can say that programming type question that we will discuss, but from that also they will not case study type question they will ask in the examination. Okay. So most of the theoretical based question you will get in the examination, and we have to cover in that way. So next one, that is the development environment. So the development environment encompasses or includes all the tools that a program uses to create a program. So development environment based, it encompasses all the tools that a programmer uses to create a program. This is certainly includes a compiler or the interpreter, but it can also include a tool for the computer aided software engineering. Clear? That is a case. We have to discuss the case tools also in detail. So the development environment encompasses or contains all the tools that a programmer use to create a program. This certainly includes the compiler or the interpreter. So anyone know what is the difference between the compiler or the interpreter? I think when you are in the school 7th or 8th standard, at that time, you have used the word. Sorry. So what is the compiler? Basically, compiler translates program or the code from a high level language to a machine language before the program runs. Okay. Okay, before the program runs. Clear? That will convert the programming language. Okay, and interpreter basically converts line by line. Clear? And interpreter converts line by line. Okay. So this certainly includes the compiler or the interpreter, but it can also include a tool for the computer aided software engineering. Just remember the definition CASE, that is computer aided software engineering. Case tools provide tools for the coordinating groups of the programmers for managing large programming projects and for analyzing and designing the programs. Again, some development environment makes it easier. Clear? Again, some development environment makes it easier to complete certain part of the programming project, while others will make it more difficult or will provide a lesser support. Okay. That is development environment. They will provide you the proper environment regarding to build a project. Clear? And there will be guidance also from the other team members. So also that some development environments make it easier to complete the certain parts of the programming project, while other will make it more difficult or will provide a lesser support. That is the development environment. Next one, that is the operating system and the hardware. All these points we have discussed here. That is, what is the deployment under that operating system, hardware, network, and standards. So operating system and hardware. So an operating system, it is a system. Clear? An operating system, it is a system software that manages, clear, operating system OS. It is a system software that manages computer, hardware, software resources, and provides common services for the computer programs. Clear? So an operating system, it is a system software that manages the computer hardware, software resources, and provides common services for the computer programs. Clear? And provides common services for the computer programs. So what the computer hardware includes? Computer hardware includes the physical parts of a computer. Clear? Computer hardware includes the physical part of the computer. So the Unix or Linux operating system provides robust support for the communication tasks and distributed computing. The Macintosh operating system, that is, we can say that like iOS. So the Macintosh operating system provides many tools that support graphic processing. Clear? That also support graphic processing. Okay. So that is what is comes under the operating system and hardware. That is operating system. It is a system software that manages the hardware, software resources, and provides common services for the computer program. Further, that is the computer hardware includes a physical part of the computer. The Unix and Linux operating system provides a robust support for the communication tasks and distributed computing. The Macintosh operating system provides many tools that support the graphic processing. Next one, that is the network. There are three basic network setups that should be considered. So these setups differ in the type of and proportion of processing done by the central mainframe relative to that done by the terminal. Clear? That network, that is, there are three basic networks. What are these? We have to also discuss. Clear? That should be considered. So we have discussed that environment, operating system and hardware, and the network also. So what are the that is to be connected by the central mainframe relative to that by the terminal? Centralized, distributed, standards. So centralized, what is the meaning of the centralized? That is, this usually involves attaching either directly or within a building, either directly within a building or remotely over telecom, dumb terminals to a central frame. Clear? Centralized, that is, this usually involves attaching either directly within a building or remotely over telecom, dumb terminals to a central mainframe. All the terminals DOS is passed keystrokes through the mainframe. Clear? That is, all are connected to the mainframe. The mainframe handles the keystroke and handles errors and performs the necessary calculation and formats the output and sends that output back to the terminal where it is displayed. Clear? And sends back that output where it is going to be displayed. Okay, so the centralized, basically, that is, this involves usually involves attaching either directly within a building or remotely over a telecom dumb terminal to a central mainframe. All the terminal does is pass keystrokes through the mainframe, and the mainframe handles the keystroke and handles the errors and performs the necessary calculations. Clear? And perform the necessary calculation and formats the output and sends that output. Clear? And formats the output and sends that output back to the terminal. Clear? And sends that output back to the terminal where it is displayed. Clear? And send that output back to the terminal where it is to be displayed here. That is distributed. This generally involves attaching usually directly within a building. Clear? Not remotely over telecom. Clear? Here, that is specifically word that is remotely over telecom into the centralized. In the distributor, not any such word, only that is usually directly within a building. PCs acting as the terminal to a departmental mini computer. Clear? The mini is used to run the departmental applications. The minis that must communicate periodically with the central machine to distribute or gather the corporate data. Clear? That mini basically must or that might communicate periodically. Clear? That might communicate periodically with the central mainframe. Clear? That is with the home, basically with the central mainframe to distribute or to gather the corporate data. Clear? To distribute or to gather the corporate data. That is comes under the distributor. So centralized, distributor. Now we'll move to the next point. Standards here. Clear? Next point, that is the standards here. So the only thing that allows computer, clear, the only thing that allows computer to talk to each other is their adherence to the standards. The underlying communication standard of the internet is TCP/IP. Clear? So please tell fast what is the full form of the TCP/IP. Clear? They are all the protocol. Clear? They are all the protocol here. TCP/IP protocol. that is transmission control protocol or the internet protocol. Clear? TCP stands for the transmission control. Okay. So the only thing that allows computer to is to talk to each other is their adherence to the standard as per the standard. The underlying communication standard of the internet is TCP/IP. Clear? That is transmission control protocol or the internet protocol. So this allows the Macintosh to talk with a Unix machine or a Windows machine. Clear? That is with the different softwares. So there are two basic kinds of the standards. First one that is the proprietary, second one that is the open. Clear? So there are two basic kinds of the standards, proprietary and second one that is the open. So proprietary standard, what are that? Proprietary standards are set by one company. Proprietary basically single. This is the meaning of the word proprietary. Proprietary standards are set by one company. Open standards are set by the committees of the people. Clear? What are the open standards? Basically, open standards are set by the committees of people from the companies and other interested parties. Clear? Open standards are set by the committees of the people from companies and other interested parties. Further, that is a wide variety of people give their input. Clear? A wide variety of people give their input to the standard making process and eventually a standard is agreed upon. Clear? So a wide variety of people give their input to the standard making processes and eventually a standard is agreed upon. The standards used on the internet are the open standards. Clear? That are usually set by the committees of the people from companies and the other interested parties. Clear? That are usually set by the committees of the people from the companies and other interested parties. So I think you are able to understand under the standard that is to be two types, proprietary and open. Proprietary standards are to be set by the one company and open standards are set by the committees of the people from the companies or the other interested parties. Okay. The standards used on the internet are the open standards. Clear? This you have to also remember. And the cost of the project, it is to be also covered under the design and development. That point we have also. So the system costs are also projected at this stage, that is under the stage 2 of the SDLC, system development life cycle. So hope all the points are clear to you up to this much point. Now next one, that is the SDLC third, that is the implementation. Clear? Now we have planning, designing and development. Third one, that is the implementation of that. So implementation involves acquiring the hardware. Clear? Implementation, what it involves? Acquiring the hardware, acquiring or programming the software, developing and distributing the documentation and training personnel to use the system. Clear? So implementation involves acquiring the hardware, acquiring or programming the software, developing and distributing the documentation and training personnel to use the system. Clear? And training personnel to use that system. That is, we have to collect the hardware, software, and program that software. Clear? So evaluating the software. Clear? How we have to evaluate the software? That is, while acquiring software, one must look at the several factors. Clear? That is evaluating. First one, that is compatibility with the existing hardware and the software. Clear? That system, it is compatible with the existing hardware or the software or not. Functionality, speed, and the error handling. Clear? First one, that is compatibility with the existing hardware and the software. Functionality, speed, and the error handling. Clear? That it will function properly or speed it is going properly working and errors they are handling or not. Clear? If that is any issue or any error, that it will handle or not. Ease of use and learning. Clear? That the other person will easily learn and use that software. Documentation and the technical support for the same. Price including upgrades and annual maintenance. Clear? Price including upgrades and the annual maintenance. Okay, so all these points you have to take care. That is compatibility with the existing hardware and software, functionality, speed, and the error handling, ease of use and learning, documentation and technical support. Last one, that is the price including the upgrades and the annual maintenance. Clear? Price including the annual, including upgrades and the annual maintenance. All these things comes under the implementation. Clear? So in this session, we have to discuss up to this much point. In the next session, we have to discuss the models of the software development and testing and acceptance. Fifth one, that is the operation and maintenance. all these things along with that components of the case tools we have to cover in the next session in detail. Clear? I will provide you some of the questions, whatever we have covered here. Clear? So that you are able to do practice of all these points, whatever we have covered here. Thanks to all of you for going through this session.